FM.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet you.
Obi a friend Dr. KK Sarpong. Dr. Kofi Dia Sarpong. Apa yi mache?
Ya Mira.
Apom.
Acho me ho ye pa.
O de nka won ten tu kwan emra metra radio station.
Me nko bi kra. Ya na mi suro ho kra.
Oh, ade.
Wan kan ya na ya miss ko tu.
Oh, yeah, Miss Kutu. I had you said direct. Well, all come will be at you. What for Machi? Yeah, that's no other gen, so you say, what I gen shed and no so. But, yeah, that's it. Na, I no pay the boko. Na, at the end, they PC bisa intia, yabomodin asrea, chunwa baby drew her. What for GMPC, Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and I company Moses. GMPC, Ake Energy, Ejuma amoye ne bibi amoto anasa aban to a ehun komo asa yenti ase ye pesi ehun nani so ofa fire start e ye di asem pote
Yo Kwame me that's pa
yeah
so no kan me pe media sem radio sem
there be
you no manage company you manage behind your desk na asema aba na say asema aba no GMPC move ye na make move no say you could talk bigger stake in Ake Energy ne AGM you know me adwuma dada say no yes take a woman there kakra bi
bezing
say be 15% bi and the woman
okay
na Ake Energy crowd 10% and AGM no yeah 15%.
Okay,
So trend in almost all the blocks are you handle no and into the attendance sikana bagana even though resources near ya diano Japade ne de sika ba ye ho ne kakra bi say I say yes re ne nya kakra
yes na Japade ye dia
ye dia na ni nyina ne say ye ni technology de be adwuma no ene ni sika nso a ye be sa de atimi akrokra ama ye development no ti so kofu obi ba ti sania ye di talo no mbae Talo say make actual your interest woman Ghana 13.8%.
Talo kakaka no.
Yeah. Sana many of them yeah na msana wasro kakra. And so cry and share down just some check figures no. Na sa issue aba say GMPC per se yanya ya boy ho modern. Ya di ho bata dua papa. Na yetimi make esua over some time. Na si enya hoden a yetimi gina na enya yetimi tu oil ma ye krui eyen hihye a mpanyifo abeda adwuma no nyina ayade a eda wo mokon ekoma so enya meme baayi na mede aba na mo adwuma de so obi be ya na akọ na obi abeto aso
enjenye KK Sarpong de baayi
o say operatorship da bi me baayi na me nu aketo Alex mode na the strategic plan na da ho. Business there continuous business. So who take over from business a BBA otwaso.
Okay.
Nemo pay de konona. Na mo ayetu no na mfi say enya kakra. Te ye pen in term. Ne denti ye pen in term ne say abrofu person mu de nhwamo. Ye see bibi the energy transition. Ye mpese ye use petrol na gas oil no. Nemo ye pese ye di ewiemu mframa ene awia enum eye energy generation
and your friend clean energy nana
am say clean energy
okay
nemo mo e ka clean energy akọ mu krom say ya make say wo mu too cool uko England no UK no ma cool US wo mu too cold ayi South Africa ko China ko ni nyina ka ho nya energy mix no omunya ko nutuo na mo say almost young Shishaya say be in favor do you be dear and you be jay a ye too. Petrol too. Now I said, Mr. Omono, I brought free petrol no, and no more two dear you crew. I'm torn about them, my ye be a be 2 a day, the Omsi say clean energy, renewables, sustainable energy, and abba, intino. You bet me a ye in two near manning off from war. Name my young son called Bobosia, and family clean energy no. No, Sassim with the Oka, Mementiasi.
Not clean energy, you've been young, or Mom Honey Bacoton.
Someone or technology no de bro. I mean, some that area that she be on Benyabi before cry, I feel do bit to create 2 hours. Then so I late. Send your own air corner, major companies, Nina. A ye can meet me at church, Mark Bibika Crabby, actually a month for. Yeah, company a friend Total table. I'm saying that the Total energies. And Total Petroleum bill.
Energies.
So we move towards BP. Say over the next 10 years, be jai oil gas production by about 40%. Shell, say after 2025, new development behind oil and gas. Yeah. So West Africa, Middle East. Be stepping it down near ye. As mobile, I know Tombe explode be omnyai.
Tommy Omoko.
Omoko. Name son in multinationals ye, you answer Usheni. Yeah, assessment of the discover. I dear GMPC to me ye pie in ye exploration and appraisal dear. Young Colano, Oma Bimu. Do your work you, Omoka yourself fat rigging could see her. Now so most of the time the car air dry. They are better than it me at least you want that no. Then we move to production and what to snake a the winning na adrian said sa plan or strategy or say a pesa ye operator no ye be pesa ye be connect in the me pesa man for tia says and ya buy na kofa ba me GMPC me dan no and I may suggest you to a ban say mommy hwe this direction. My new minister, Matthew Poku Prempe, a tonasum, say, obedi manim near the Draban. Yakaka was a movie. Yakofa Parliament. Several parliamentarians, Omunyan Quada. He been with Dihobe 20 years, KT Hammond, Mama Check 20 years, a Kobe 25, and yet their idea of taking light. Kofi Buano, Omunyana, Tihobiama Kofi Buano. Any Kokoye presentation.
Amakufiwa, former energy minister.
Former energy minister. John Jinapo. At least this is one transaction. Mehu say bipartisan. Both sides. Asumu. It's not to me this particular issue. Kwame, and yes, say MPP or NDC. It's about Ghana. It's about Ghana. How Yenya Bitimia take General Champon baby because capturing the commanding heights
of the economy.
In the 70s. I hope na me a brante.
Now you should say.
O de na ngo kra.
O mi ba 70 pepepe.
Ya wo 70.
Pepepe.
And e ka ho asem na untimi ho because na 76 no me
na class 1.
And no. And na ye to aso. You pese capture the oil sector no ourselves. Anya sa emwaye. Na abanshi shey bia ba so na manfo we hwa we de both NDC MPP ye nyina age atom. So na me che TF we me pese me che o me say ade bia na e ba fofora. Onya to ho no mu a obi okro onya bonsam anu ada na ho bonsam. No pese o say ade no. Obi o pese o kasa na etenenka. Na eno emwa enye na mo onya botre omo ya na yetiase because the fear of the unknown. Ade no nim se na esitienti obepe se be chechire mu ye.
Na GMPC mo nim se na esitie.
Ye nim pa. Na pese me
that's also money technology.
O se ye nim se na esitie se yetimi move to that direction na me kire. Se ye need that capacity. Enti na pese ye build capacity no. Na ye hihye on krata so yi me do almost 5 years.
Yeah.
In who light. Oman better or maybe another 5 years, be 10 years. There must be a way as a fascinating me pushes our agenda. No. The science and I made a call to our anymore. Me didn't call Kumapem. Yes, he be me my agenda be tinam de call. Na aban bia me feel say current president Nana Dankwa so assume next year we should be commended because this is a bold decision. When you're bolder, won't me and take that giant step no. Nemo say obi beje ade ya no asi bone no nchechire mu ye no o me busa information hono na ham kakra. The man catch me say o ye me makusua theology kakra. Matthew 7:7. You say bisa. Now the ubisa. Ubenyamwai. Ubopru no mwa yeden. Ye so nessa one me bisa. Nessa why be distort too fast now. It's not fair. Anything the man me decided say me ameba. Inti young people know one more year, you know. Me just say Sanya me when you me patch say so busa ebe ma information no atiase. Now tiase also be a disciple of the subject, you know. So
na mo amoye na nkasa no senya dia mo kire yen ya ye be den hu ba bia bebisa.
Well, Kwame say na o che da sabra no na fa okra na onam o ko na wo kan basa ba yenye de no ba ye no wa me ameka konfu panyin say me ame wa ha obi ame busa me hwe emrantie Bryce Simmons no makasa no ya kasa no obi en ho aba me ho na won't you use Matthew 7:7 there okra and na say na me ma one example na me ya branch na me cocoa board 1994 na cocoa to ya tutu freku afo yi edu so a ne sika ho ayeden Bank of Ghana ye bibi cocoa bills na ye ne bi ba na ma ne delays na pharmacy kam ne bedru ho no na ye nhihye se cocoa ekurase ye je e be kwakoton Nemo se wako ye ni mo ekoton mo de a ye betuma akobobose ahead of the you know na ya ba na ne dollar no e de cosidi na de ato cocoa you know me faba we de nya se bia Bank of Ghana for me come asem those days me sure say governor kra no yakoda say me cheno bebre one panum director of research na ade debi one month ase kra I don't know person turn cocoa board into a bank yes she shame dey ba no but Mpenyufo to say Professor Kwesi Botwe the late P. Obin, blessed memory. And
P.V. Obin?
Yes, P.V. Obin. And I'm my boss, fly lieutenant Matiemo. So Musa no, I had a yenti, a bit pushy. And I banji 2 money at the buy. 27 years in it. And no one ya besine.
And any cocoa syndicated loans?
Syndicated loans. Me started first one on my year, first year 94 was only $140 million. The second year I think we went to 220 million. Me about 4 times and signed me free cocoa board. The 4 together was less than $1 billion. And then 1 year almost to raise almost $3 billion. Naba near the Yejuma. Pharmacy in Yom Sika. Na cocoa board cost also so because those days, you know, interest rate on the cocoa bill, you are talking about 20-something, 30%. The cocoa board, a kangwa. You do a buy, you know. You turn the cocoa board into a bank. The only a simple structure. The treasury of any big business functions like a bank. The treasury department. And TSA, you may buy 27 years or more.
There be.
Sabe pepe, and TSA in Yakumapa. Let's say she ya. Maybe they are called to a anyway. Ye Timmy assume near that dano, near Hesenia Bay. Name say started from a more negative angle. MY. I see a sharp at the pay woman near day. Ye Timmy fa. Mr. Say, ye call Parliament. Your comments. Catch me presentation, man can be man can say you. I just took my notebook and took the comments. Yeah, Baba structure final agreement na those comments na parliamentarians no at the mammy no. In the same way, some of the CS, civil society organizations, some of them are positive about this. Only a few. And one of them who surprised me cry Natural Resources Governance Institute. You know Juma kama. Say because I'm pushy Obroni agenda. That's the way I see it. Because more natural resources more na more access GMPC. Now I say GMPC is the number one best organized national oil company in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. Number one. And 5th best governed globally. So what fear should they have?
Baby ano mu fi say baby amoko no ahwa na mo ahondi swa munim di swa moko ya ebia na ankwankoboa nti omo kasetia no muntie na asopam.
Oh yeah there so constructive comments and I make just say me so far eba me kan bi da mashada na me pese me tie do bia beka and then am I ready comments omo ya positive nyina mefa they are structure agreements no and all the documentation underlying it. Me why shemu say ebeye maybe me wu kono na de no gina ye and then your home ye rebe fear me ye cocoa boss indication obi abom din pen what is obi kasa me nam de ba ye pen
one can no pay crank maintain.
Oh yes, but the forgotten hero me name boss fly the team obi akra mo ye din ka say ye ya de papa bi o cocoa board. But a sustaining country, no? In the same way, me say team ya me wo our GMPC abeboa. Cocoa board ade anyes kama farmers to cocoa board cost from yanya foreign currency abantem any the manage do pattern of foreign currency gyration movements. Cocoa skaba could see Christmas in the chihono na nema yede a dumping kakra. A sape shum na koso. See, to me, oil there can yaskani pia. The year say, estimate is at about $27 billion and about Ghana.
Over what period?
Oh, I think over the, I think the project life is about 20 years. 20 years. Yet to me is the starting point. Yet to me, near another block near where foreign currency, I criticize amount for is very simple. The demand for dollar in this country is far higher than the supply of dollars. It is naturally the price will go up. We have economics 101, finance 101. It is the only way is to increase your foreign exchange listing. Now, interestingly, not make kind release the Institute for Fiscal Studies?
IFS.
IFS in Ghana. Me can't and I'm so I'm kind of some ambassador for this project. They want Ghana to take at least about 55% in oil and other natural resources rights. That's a bold step. But okay, on paper, offer 90%. Now need a kind of a tour. Say oil no ma.
And some of you can say, BBT say Exxon Mobil, or Muska, or Muanim dear, and some buy, or maybe to Kakra, or Moko. Baby, I ain't ye de Sika Quakushim, na ye nim, and she says, and yet here. A be super chair say, I say, Ake energy, ye disca aquachum. Doctor, Sashi, we can walk us through it, a ye dear potting.
Well, let me come in that, so let me kind say. The whole thing has started from this energy transition.
Yeah.
Which means it says you move near renewables, no more convincing near giant, you all in a back assassin as a whole.
Okay.
And muscle. But all you receipts, no, you hear part of the cocoon and I mean gold in the acano and sign it to me a transform your country. To me, them if it's a major transformational agenda.
That's the start.
The starting point. Now, the Americans say the hypocrisy of the West. Americans say sabe da no you know as if mu ye de omo tu dia yom de ye de san wie de a so de mentu de manenka asase na se am fi say ye gidi say enye ye dintia yakọ akehọ no na me pese me kire mu sese at the moment in this country there were only 5 major discoveries baako ba na no ya na ansa na I started discussions into like I said there were 4 major discoveries. So our discovery see Springfield Kevin company no eka ho year na our more harder than 2 of the recoveries ayomodia and ake any AGM. These are the 5 discoveries here. It is our company seeing can be my target for acquisition. Adia me pese me.
Okay.
Me assess me feel say baby a Springfield edro no. Woman ntimi moa me. Woman ntimi moa me. Nya say bi am run woman down. But woman him say they will need maybe some farming from more advanced companies.
I don't move fisa.
Yeah, and I any Vitor 2 discoveries are new.
Okay.
I feel no more discover. Nebia and also me know more enya further work on it. My mom dear.
Okay.
Dear. Ne no more ye jumano. I just say we're moving towards doing the plan of development, what we call POD, and then go to the final investment decision level. And COVID therefore we buy. A buy na oil pricey term. It do stage we are turn 1 barrel of oil around $11 per barrel from about 60. Obviously, we'll be in business may be in here for the Christmas. I'm out of any biscuit curry. Also, be assess it into your home run. Not work all of them ask for, call it a halt. Normal assessment. No, that time na ye ne ake ye decide say ye the one big FPS obeba. Now you are connected to various fields. Now you produce. Looking at about 110,000 barrels a day. That time, no, not break-even cost. See, bua kontano. See, you tune say you more kakrano. As at least you timi ton 1 barrel be about $45. It drew $12, 15, 20. Over there, akoton.
I know your cabo.
Okoboka. It is a revised strategy, no. Because we use KCSR. You breaking into smaller blocks. You smaller production points. Yeah, no, not break even about 30. How many I may say, Namoadi, you say you cry, you more stake, need to more say. The entire pay more say, and he said, to say Talo, any year and I. Procurement near the Koyaniasemu. Don't pay no me. Even no better said the agreement, no say, Omne say, yes, idea.
I didn't do this answer, you much, sir.
Oh, well, a bar first, no, and I order down, I will be a banner. Yana mean blame Talo for their money too much. Because Mampany President Kufo wanted us to what we call de-risk the basin. You move in so, oh, you nebi waha, most of my day, Momra. Today, so young she share a bay. You send out to Mr. Man for a backo, because he said Cosmos for a striker oil, omni talo for a day, team up on bay. Sanshi share no me no can incentives. Today, say to me, Mom, quite some bay near mano and 10. Never per se, a fast track development. To look procurement no time, no me idea. The same pattern a follow year and I for there. But it's, if you are the operator, then you are calling the tune.
You know that GMPC best way.
You per se. The Timmy Yane and Crow for Sunya a year. Now, my one example marine patrol vessels, security. Outside there's an AO. Now, a fit scare carbon thing is about $100 million from these companies.
Now, see, you're a Navy.
Your Navy. I know you are some for as I'm saying, say you caught that direction with them. But once they say, if you are not an insider, and no, me not make us say, let's wait there. ne before trom nti yɛhwɛ ne yɛmfa mom no ɔmnyɛ na yɛhwɛ kwan yɛ bɛfa so ɛno koraa no bɛmfie mmienu ni bra yɛ abrɛ ansa na nansan no ɔmutumi anya saa adwuma no na wei ne sɛ yɛnyɛ operator yɛnyɛ bɛ determine local content hwan na ɛyɛ wei hwan na ɛyɛ wei hwan na ɛyɛ wei hwan na ɛyɛ wei ɛhɔ no ne agorɔ no ɔyɛ no a wotuo no nyɛ yi o ɛho services no expenses a yɛ incur no ɛhɔ no ne agorɔ no ɛhɔ ne sika no
rɔwie no
ɛhɔ no wɔmde kɔ no biribiaa aborɔfo yi a na mmom yɛbɛyɛ operator deɛ a yɛnya bɛtumi dictate yɛ terms no yie na yɛne wɔmɔ aka ho asɛm
ebi a ɛkasa tia no pa kyerɛ sɛ sɛ wobɛyɛ operator nyɛ bɛtɛɛ sa sika a ɛkɔm no nyɛ sika awa ɛna yɛnni saa sika no bi dɔkta ɛno so
Kwame
yɛya
wopɛ sɛ woyɛ hiani a wobɛyɛ hiani sɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ hiani a wobɛyɛ hiani ɛna meka sɛ sɛbe menya abɔfra mayɛ business yɛakyɛ mahwɛ aban adwuma saa you need to make a bold decision sɛ wokɔ market na sɛ obi bɛbɔ ɔbosa adeɛ a ne wonim sɛ w'adwuma no bɛyie that is a step we are taking na sɛ ɛyɛ possible sɛ aban bɛtumi abɔ bosa ama me de ayɛ adwuma no a anaa aban bɛpɛ sika bi de ama me a ɛyɛ possible a why shouldn't we do it in oil business no there's something we call reserve-based lending. So we who say reserves no, and probably to me they give you the money ahead of time. The many do so, and also I barrels no akoton or the atenica. Iti a idea as a bomoding. Yeah, now can say niska. There must be a pointer. As you take some of these steps, you need only that one step to have a breakthrough. Then your breakthrough, no, all other things will be added onto you.
Peace 104.3 Dr. Kofi Kodia Sapana said Dr. Kiki Sapana or Chief Executive GNPC and Yeneno Ewu Studio Anope and come here nene eka efa GNPC ake AGM say GNPC person ye operator na yentiasie na ye bisa na mo amudi sade echi mo se CSOs bebre so atro ne bi etia ebi so atro bi e de afoaso na no pe ne pese ono ankasa be pie ha na ochechen eni so kaka doc obi be bisa adenti na enwumakwo nyina ye sa adwuma yi adenti na aka energy AGM and o se ye no mo ye sankita hudi.
All right, Kwame they can me can say at the moment there were 5 discoveries.
Yes.
And only see a timid bar production. From 2017, you heard I'm fair being a day and count. Now we have 5 discoveries here. You know me, Juma. You need fees are quenimua. A bebwire, the idea per se, and the ake AGM. Now, on say, Sabi, a Jumano, yes, in the market, no, so as you can kind, as you sense a month for. All these major companies have decided to go green or clean energy. It will compare musika. Emma. All these companies will pour musika Emma because they decided to go green. Ebe background Emma kesi.
Okay.
Ebina yeshe in respect of Akedi. I care for almost 3 companies. They buy clean energy.
Almost buy clean energy.
Buy clean energy. It is how often a year their shareholders will put pressure. These are international shareholders.
Almost from Norway,
most of them from Norway. It's internationally listed company. Norway, there might be shareholders in US or whatever. These are the advanced countries. No, so when you so I form 3 companies or they baby
clean
energy no. As a chair will say, or no obey your dear on cool speed no day. Gradually obey move to that side. And until now, the kind suggests can we come in and take a bigger stake so that we can have greater control in the way we direct this. And I say, you need that one step, either Ake, either Springfield or wherever. My assessment as chief executive told me, say, AGM near, I've been chain the Akano. And yes, I'm a kind of no more Ajiatumo. So, I do say, yeah, so I'm to me and I saw me so be I'm so be on for the Christmas. Yeah, it is a honor. Me person me chair say one more the end and I been ye. Now me tea will be say or say Enrin block could be over 500 million barrels. And you know correct. But 40 to 50 million barrels were commercially not viable. So it never be hard. Yeah. Now because all the distortions no ba na person boa Ghanaians. O de kano Korea e wo mu. Me cheche mu akwe ube hu say me kano kure wo mu trodo. Ake de no, de ntia ho na me koye ne say omo de na ben mo. Omo so omo wo deep water experience. On say to say you two or Sarpong no, o ko be 200 meters for na oil ho. To Yamre. But all you know, I will power a basin no deep water.
In Sunase.
Sunase. I mean, I cry, Chabrofa Bay for me who cry on fast one to do her. Because her pressure no will dive across on survival. But one more that experience. At least, maybe one more produce be, I just say, filled back home to me produce 220,000 barrels of oil per day. No matter smaller fields, we are 40,000, 50,000. It one more that experience no. So it is a Ghana so you need pee or deep water. It is open so see be free will be no more. I was so see bobo. Na me ko botim bi dia ha asamaba
o de akwa kotoko bi ni ba o de ka so
kotoko de ha so ho that's how fi so ni bona so nko ho that's how be konkrofo bi ho no mo a so ta say ha no esewara eti wo mo na wo experience no na ho no ne ye kwa let's say timi gather experience ni ya then yeah other fields no ye deep water no you be to team up with other people. So joint operatorship yeah aka AGM we no say omunko an block B bar to say yeah block 1 yeah try abia Chinese for nearby. This time round we want to be joint what operators so that we can learn from them and then over time so I I'm going to be the next 10-15 years you better ABC musa it is a call aka honwa ne di ntia yebe timi aye na nhye person omo ye no so no omo nyese ye ja omo ase ya beje no omo ko me mani atese nka wa no but me say but mom sika so can be maybe they will finance the FPSO they will do finance local community on timi nya ho so woko because the sika so ye den
now doc odi kan say ye per bigger stake it is say yes and she area na ye chefe wo me ye be say
oh in Akeno there are 2 blocks Akeno you were 10% yes she ni 37 na ye de ka ho na koma ye say 47 and AGM you be 15%. Yeah, she no need to make another 17 and near call by 85. This is calculated and a bit of control.
Nanya 2019 year na mwamuji tumu se mu reduce stake and I say ya hondi o mi ete so inti dia na ase senti efe dia yesa happen e modu.
Yeah, we live in a very dynamic environment. And maybe I be here that time so energy transition ade then shut down and you heighten up. But you know who direction a man for kono as who is also so oko na say obojusato e jato bi abojuse mu a na so unim nyansa odi nso ayedai asi odi
yes na say kwadi wabojuse nu nsuo
na che say e jano nyedai yes we made those concessions because ni nyina no why desperate But at least now, no, when they came in, almost had further discoveries to tell you. So, send near my
Peace FM.
It is if we get opportunity, say, yes, steady or more, almost form 3 energy company. It was quite clear to me, as CEO said, and conform by a crowd, and woman in 10 years. That's a shareholder activist pressures about they will try and move away. These are some of the considerations. You pursue your operator, you bet my cool be like me say, almost there now being. She said, my relinquished stake in Ukraine. Maybe now we've rediscovered, so we have to take a second look at it.
We have to take a second look at it. Opening a omoko green, omoko clean energy, almost a sun your moye. Na yes, we feel na ye day ye 2 million ye read ye kwa kweshe we mu. Na ye producer wana better. So omoko omoko green dia ye kwa tama hoi.
Kwame, we assess world demand. You say electric cars,
yeah.
Obusa who Ghana, how many electric cars now?
There be.
It will take your time. And I remember it Ghana have cars, and you will continue to use petrol for a long time to come. Maybe the next 20, 30 years. Or more chrome hokrano, on Biusu. Now, a 2 oil, next year see any market, you bet my refining or a chrome near use internally, which will be advantageous to our currency. Scar they call Portu Yabano, Emma, Utuaha. That time, so where's Kakrani Kuma, Otonwa, Benyo Sikano, Awahaya. It be bet my refiner waha. Na ye use sa petrol. You assess it well demand for some time. It's not going to fall as rapidly as they are saying. Say overnight, the demand are drop about 50%. There be. I think the Asia credit demand, China for demand there. China for clean energy, but they will still be doing their fossil fuels because the demand for energy there is not something that you take for light, given their population and the sparseness of the land. Say the Cassia no ne land mass no ne ade. In Asia, the demand will be there. In the African countries, I think we will still be using our petrol cars and other installations for a long time to come. The preparation you make here is to beat them to it. If they project 20 to 30 years, beat them to it. So by the time they get there, near to be fine. Ebi kura beka kakrebi. Eno ho adwuma ne ye kan sese.
Amampanyi dada Rollins na obrofo bia na oka anyakopon de ne krasie na ofre bibi the unjust world economic order not edikasa asem ne pa na yenim se ewiase sika sem ne impuntuo no eya na ekutiaye no na ewiase mpanyufo say be advanced countries ka say ye ko a different area na yen so ye tie hu Ekodu sanhihye na omo kope kwan bi so fam miayen already ni yetiti about climate change yeti about global warming and ohono ni ye ne say
well Kwame man talking shop no doso on bekasa climate change CO2 emissions from developing countries to world figure is only 3%. Only 3%. This is international atomic, international energy, whatever agency. 3% from developing countries. 97%. Almost a critical problem, no. And I think that maybe if we are looking at Ghana beyond aid denominator, these are the sort of things we should tackle. On our own.
Now, offer Ghana beyond aid, any foreign company kwa. Meanwhile, you will look at and see your movie susa. So one I can see Kevin Ochidi I've been so being ye.
Oh, me
and me, I didn't young Ghana beyond the news Ghana for.
Oh, not technology no way.
Say me be so now we made you.
Sent I make sure say, what do hook about your park? Now we are no what to. Yeah, program I know from now to about 2035. That is about
14 years.
15 years. We should be able to stand on our own. Now, may catch you 15 years will be just around the corner. So if we penning time there, it says station time. It's a simuntem. You travel the journey. The money will pay personally the beer, you can't. Remember one example, maybe I will take you over. Now, my predecessor, he share about Petroleum Basin exploration.
This is water in oil.
Yes.
And only Petroleum Basin.
Petroleum Basin, you Petroleum Basin.
And Patrick, you need to need the water region. Which
it's a free northern region, how from plains, but far water region, Petroleum Basin, Water River, no
good
basin.
Okay.
Yes, me buy an issue. No, I will be able to say it's having corporate courage and then getting good support from government. Yeah, exploration, yeah, namso, you know. At least you indication say oil will base him more. They must say a commercial quantity will say yeah, annual. Just a drill and sunny idea. Yahoo. My position was that let's travel the journey. You can't drill it near yenya. You drilling it say new honso and then your commercial near who's a mean with steer time. Mobi and Kapwa Symbio. Either way, either I can be it's useful. And we are there. We are making steady progress. Like I said, no, I don't like this media thing. We are them one anchor appear.
So
we know baby a drone no a man for cabo born in fame basabasa into the man me baha. Now the number of things are the person maker.
But meba and also Mimi Saba kuna can if you meeting now person can de boy sikasem.
Sikasem what am maybe?
Because you have to say Sika be $1.6 billion. Hong Kong, ABC 1.1, ABC and Tessa San Comono. Ya yenim no. Wafa cheche mo etisay.
Me cheche mo simple. Hwe. Se ade no awoso kwa akwa no. Kwa che ade efe. Ye diska na ede.
Ayo.
And I'm catching say Father Christmas be any baby a own be also be fako. Be fa biscuit no ko recall. Me answer them boom me boss kasa tenten. Me bre. Me say kasa tenten and toponko. E ye gonja for ebe. Ye diska and a toponko no. Ya ye share valuation bebre. Ye GMPC ya ye as a buyer ya ye evaluation. AKGM as a seller or my own valuation. Almost commission 2 independent valuers, almost figures our ho. Yes, so there be GMPC, another company, Lambert. They buy I can only jointly say you be finance the cost of the consultancy.
Peace FM.
Yeah, almost also valuation. Then cluster around. As a valuation, we are 100. We have different values.
Okay.
But they will cluster around a certain threshold. Say value no yenya no yen can say no na yen could triaka and tono at that full value. Valuation there is a guide. And I be boy amaye etimi aye ye kwa ban ko chechiri mu no valuation aye nyina ye de nyina ma ban aban so at cabinet level the parliament near they decided so they figure to buy say 1.65 no but it's just a guide so me beje approval mami say send ya I can live within that yeah but so it's can remove $350 million a GMPC contribution to development say acquire stake in one as you contribute to development of the field to first oil wherever we are to development and 350 okay free 350 ni free with the answer say and cabansi can no can so almost consider permanent considering was 1.3 billion for acquisition parliament will pay mom so yamamo upper limit of 1.1 billion
upper limit
yes upper limit
there's someone to me 1.1 billion
you see CSOs no more custom they should speak the truth. These are 3 levels. 1.65 billion comprises a acquisition cost and then the capital cost to first oil. See, I started development, and near 350. Anyway, suggested 1.3. 350. When you're hungry, and the estimated cost, that's what the partners have agreed. Yes. And the 1.3 and then the acquisition cost. So acquisition cost 1.3 billion. On buy in the parliament, so there be. Yeah, more 1.1. Where's the negotiation status? And Pokrane be a minister Koba. And your GMP so, yeah, my ban say, Mumwaye, name Mwamu negotiate the work I be a bounce by further work and sign on negotiations. It is so be I can say, Yako decided 1.1. That price is yet to be agreed. But the parliament can say at no point should you go beyond 1.1. So more valuation figures, to also share. More difficult task. Over so per 1.2 there be yes for 1.1. And no crown and conclusive. Koko has over to my home bibia. And now Minister Matthew Poku, Prempene, Minister Kanufurata on bay negotiation. Yeah, GMPC and Kaho, yeah, they have provided support. That will be the basis of the acquisition.
Until we do not have a figure yet.
We don't have. And it will be some no Trinitarian. These are only indicative. BB say share. They will beyond this. And I think it's a good thing that Parliament did. Though almost so, how the ministers will manage. Give them the data, maybe risk analysis, this and so yen piasa. And then no crime pa ye can yes if quite now 1.1 billion so they are command ake. It's not going to be like that. They're going to be milestone payments. Maybe I sign agreement and between a kakrasi. We must start it more final investment decision if mo POD a between say and sign another level. So more development, more do be 85% of development here. Now you do first oil, maybe who knows? Maybe because so at the end of development, at the same time, maybe no truncated. These are matters for negotiation.
Doc, me ni mo adwuma inti bisa na me bisa. Omo say my nhwehwemu CSOs and other people say Sasika semi ase ye tu sike bi atwene ye de sika ekoche ake for adwuma enya nwanwa bia sa usomu sai say ne metima kan say omon share that dia ene na omunim nti ese omutie me omon share that na omunim no che so omunim nti ne wutia Matthew 7:7 asem utia so obisa na ma chechiro mu ne dika no mekenka na ema ni bi obisa so we mu $100 million for acquiring it from company back on Hess na ye 1.1 enya no krekra yes we mu $100 million ema shares Hess and our AGM so na obi wo mu so we mu $35 million ema no so no about 135. After me so I'm say acquisition cost here 200. After I'm costing you 200 and also no credit. Now meet my church room me will figures ni nyina wa ha. And we the book no lie figures no they are verifiable and that they are will be the akọ to be before e wa ha. No mu try to acquire stakes in the two blocks no. Back here 100 million. 0.6 and about 35 million and no more 135.8 about 136 so we to assassia and now to company we register our shares we try stamp duty we try advisors and no almost spending 23 for the two companies 23.1 million. These are verifiable costs because you will see the payments going to maybe lands or Registrar General or going to KPMG or whoever might have done the work. And until about 159 million. Now
Omo abaye so exploration, appraiser, drilling. One can back dry well. Almost spend $399 million.
Ake for.
Ake AGM.
Ake AGM.
Yes. Ake 223 and AGM 175.9. To Kabuma 399.2. Kwame. It is we just say 100 million and you say at least my mouth 158, 159 and my mouth 399. What the bomber say? What did the mean no bomber? That 399 you can verify it because
that's about 557.
557. And no a buyer as partners and the union are approval. We do the budget, they spend, we approve, and we build the books. Do come officer Kachibo Efeno Anthony Ampofo, manager project finance. He can give you that figure. The Atosubio on say one more company establishment. When the kind 399 became license cost, the area exploration appraiser, you did two high max drilling ship, yakoye say yakoye, and no, any 399 no. Now the almost toy and so no more and any registration, any advice about 150. Or they can also have 500 and something. Yeah. As a company, they run an office. They have a number of other costs. They buy, we are going to verify. Of course, we try interest charges because we P&L account, it will be there. The BB FPSO Kessia no fire FSC Yajano contracting a kakakra or ubetia. And never kakra and also so okay canning in our boom. A total cost to date about $712 million. Tis will be to no so didn't fufu no figure no conjoy. That's why I say you should talk to me and I'll give you the figures. You haven't spoken to me and you are throwing figures out there to confuse people. The point is, these figures are there. The license cost figures for development are $399 million. You can verify it. The almost a car almost acquisition price related a car you bet verify from them. Almost other costs also in Kano. Because interest charges say you take the bank statements, you take the agreements on it, you see the interest charge.
Now since some okay in Sebe and ye ampo there are other places say be any pano koya no akuhu sa figures you ana
and then one who ye let me say cocoa one and this one. One who ye so who ye on my casa. And I'm going to say you're fair to Ghanaians, give them the right picture so that they can argue. You see, what we are trying to say is it's not fair to say Omo I spend only 100 and GMPC in our wildest room says advise government go and pay 1.1 billion. We have not even advised government that way. We have said these are the valuation figures. Government will have to make a decision. And we went to government and say help us achieve this objective. But in the process, government na lead na transparency in day embrem. These figures are there. They bit me verify. But these are all guys. You know, they decide the acquisition cost. Acquisition cost is based on the valuation. You see, and then people tend to forget to say, Omo buy, Omo tria it boka 399 million. Omo toy tria kabo 399 million extra, which Ambofu can give you the figures. And no more other cost. They've also made further discoveries. In the Ake block, 100 million barrels of oil have been discovered. In the AGM block, 167 million barrels. So in total, 267. Somebody says, oh, AGM is not been appraised. Historically in this country, you can check everything, go to commission everywhere. Any discovery that we've made, when we do appraisal, the figures go up.
And here we appraisal, I back over 167.
Oh, I believe so. Anya cry 167, they're better now. I said that one I won't even You see, sometimes I'm for a history, economic history, and they criticize it. These are historical information, and it will be able to give you a guide. And I say, all appraisals done. You can quote me, unless maybe me could be. But whatever I've seen there, it ends up after appraisal giving you higher value, because we tend to underestimate it based on the concept of prudence or conservatism.
Well, okay, baby. What's the historical information, historical appraisal, economic history? Because our historical economic history, yenim senia oils tie ewo Ghana ha. Yatiti biara GMPC adwuma. Sika oboboy enye sika wa. Yenim se mre bi opanyin bi ano dan no sa sika semia kire no efiase ba mu. Na mi bebisa sika ya obobo bodin na adwuma wo sie ba be. Bruni Bisa, what if it goes wrong? Because I say, you know, yeah. Say. Na anye.
Well, in every business, we have risk, but I cannot imagine say any year cry. And we're doing it with them. Senye Adiana, if he say why would they be interested in a year? There's another partner, our team still, Luke Oil from Russia. And young Gumfrimu. What? Me and yet too pessimistic. We can take into account the issue of risk in making our final acquisition price, making our distance. But the person say we must make it work. I gave you the cocoa board example. Nobody gave us a dog chance to say it has worked. At the same time, my firm belief is that this thing is workable. The Indiana may cut that direction and say, when we have further discoveries, let's assume that appraiser will not even change it. At an oil price of $60, what the additional discoveries on my at an oil price or average oil price of about $60 will be about $16 billion in gross revenue. This is so one cannot say they haven't added anything. They have. I'm why they are prepared. They say maybe major stake, but I think it's all because of this renewables and whatever. So that maybe they want to move quickly out of that. The arrangement we'll do on the operations, we'll put what I call a call option. So at any point in time, we can decide, say, okay, we want you out. That's the kind of structure I'm suggesting.
So that structure, first or your timelines to say?
Early, maybe late 2024.
Late 2024 into your head.
3.5.
The next at least by 4 years.
3.5 years. I want to see oil quickly. So that we are vindicated.
Inti looking for vindication. CSOs ne other bodies are ekasetiano. Obetunsa from we reach out. Mobile then say mo pese nyina ye de boa Ghana, because they be can say about Ghana. It's not about NDC or MPP or any CSO or say now they Joe glory. Inti how do we achieve a certain buy-in? Obia dream amra benkrum sa dia ye edi aboye mai.
Oh, kaka, we already have behind the scenes we're doing engagements. Now can just say CSOs na call one direction so mumpe. So they have positively supported it. Bryce Simon, they will come. They'll come around. I've opened the door now. I'm available. There are people who have visited me even at home to discuss this matter. The doors are open.
But you kept the doors closed for a while.
No, I never close it. I mean, my strategy is simple. Say, Ubisi or no on town, to boss no can say me anyway. Me lawyer advice on me was saying 3 months.
Yeah, then.
In Chichimu, assembling the Chichimu, no be at no one say, and your manso. It do better was say, Bianso, Moka true, figures here and then buy my try say me boni nyina tofa na manfo ayede etie they make catch manfo and say ade no eye. One reason why this acquisition will be helpful to us already, you know, a Juma has scar no more spending, we won't be finding cheap, no. So advantage in taxes were going to go to them. So me talk. So tax advantage, you know, ebebamiha. Say. Now has time no more spending about $1.something billion on the block. You know, international companies, he wants to move into some other things or cutting the losses, they want to go away. Minimum other arrangement. But if I'm looking at the figures there, when I buy, I'm going to inherit that tax advantage. Outside of the toit, says can advantage or the back. Yeah. Has I can start to produce and so no more wait away about 900 million. Almost to be account maybe over $1 billion in tax allowances. No, now asako. We tax be amount for a long time. Now we are trying to make sure say when we acquire, then you have all these tax advantages coming to Ghana. The Exploco is 100% owned by GMPC and therefore owned by Ghana.
I didn't think they form another company, Exploco.
Oh, you per se using as a commercial arm. So that if you give them independence, they will really act fast. In fact, see a subsidy or Botian base in may suggest another subsidiary. So they do the on-land development different from the sea development, creating jobs. So these are the opportunities. This particular one has the potential to create about 11,000 jobs in this country.
Apart from 11,000 jobs, what other benefits? They from this transaction?
Foreign exchange, benefits. Operator capacity no move to other fields. Maybe join Springfield and then I develop. A new ABA Exxon Mobil Diana Ujaya no meet me no be joining hands near develop. Foreign exchange beba, tax advantage beba. You believe we say a bit reduce operational cost because now we don't have control over procurement.
Foreign company in the house?
Yeah. And if they are using their transfer pricing, anybody who does multinational financial management will know one of their greatest weapons is transfer pricing. They have their related companies outside. That's the way they use to siphon money. But Exproco is Ghana. So what's Siphon here? I bet Ghana here. You create jobs and then the local content to make sure say and call for no and control Ghanaians will get a greater portion. And now there's energy transition here still. Yet to be 3 ideas. And he said total so on mobile so on share so on BP so on so on they are building and capacity. Take for example Malaysia, Petronas, and then Brazil, Petrobras. Then Mexico is Pemex. These are supposedly developing countries. More taking hand a year more national oil company year. They are driving the system. And that is the vision that I have. That is the kind of thing that me feel say the president and his team are buying into it as he pushes our agenda. No? So you need to refine it in white products. See, and your production, government expected royalties remain on paper, Emma. Expected taxes remain on paper, Emma. By a year there, Exproco can be taxed. Your producer government benyane royalties. Your producer until taxi look oil. At the end of the day, a who a dorsal. It is a bonfire na your boy. No be a dream bomb na yet their church here be a better. And
their church here be also a better. So we take the Peace 1043. Dr. KK Sarpong, Kofiko dia Sarpong, Penya or GNPC, and I am not to Komobe. A little over 1 hour near far GMPC ni ake GM in common near Chuana Doc, senior okay say say I say easy be I say fu you betimi aye me nsu me mbo hu mresa
Kwame anyade Debbie. You see, two issues: technology.
Yeni technology
and the finance.
Finance was yeni bi.
Finance u pese onya obenya bi. Pese onya obenya. Me you starting mention and me can say $350 million component. I'll raise that money in this country.
$350 million?
Yes.
How?
It's going to be spent over 3.5 years. Through GMPC budget itself, I raise some. I'm able to borrow from the banks for other things. GCB, Societe Generale, Fidelity, they are there. We'll raise that money locally, that $350 million, over 3 years. Young free baby, Ghana here. And you notice that once you move towards development, the trading companies no export to oil, no. As you move forward, you are nearing production. No? There's something we call securitization of the barrels. Just like the cocoa pod, no what Diana Hono. And no, any agent so the Cobo Busiano. When you say you are heading towards production, they'll give you money because when you saw Benya oil, no, the other Aticano. And I mean, by Busia, when you say, woman say, Talo oil ho, or when say, ENI oil ho. It's on the back of that, I'm able to raise money and then we pay over time. It's not difficult at all.
We can do it.
We can do it. Once the well is there, we'll get there. And that's what I'm inviting everybody to consider and support. You see, something that both sides of the political divide find common grounds. It's quite indicative to say it's achievable.
It's quite indicative that it's achievable. CS Usnin Omo Montia said, I don't know, Mumbra, Yendi, Trinkwa, Kukuku, Yasaka, Kakrebi, so be a free Ochane, a having Kakrame, my commitments near, but Monday, it's likely I'll travel on Tuesday outside the country, but me quite normally me 3-4 days in Masaba. Because what about Bright Simmons doing? Titi others.
Young man, me person Oba. I believe he needs a bit of education on it. And Chichimu, Ebemanati, I say. So, and now I wanted to crack a joke. When I was a lecturer, my child then able to some question officer, accountants, my catcher said, if you do it this way, you are right. If you do it the other way, you are wrong. Usually there's one way of doing it. It's okay to be before let me know outcome. I said, me trim. The way they do so, me mark on my script. And you know, as on Madam Chechum, no Tias. And I come mark on script the anchor, my end pass.
I'm surprised you say, Abia baby, also fan, Abia also in Tiasia, Papa.
Oh, minimum. Anybody will tell you I have the patience, I'm very tolerant. I'll try to listen. That's what I'm saying. What is my cabina? You listen more, talk less. Today I'm talking, and I've opened the floodgate. They are all welcome for us to sit down and walk them through the numbers. They may give me ideas. Ideas they're not back for there. Me and my office, we had divergent views. But you know the boss is always the boss.
It doesn't mean he's always right.
Yeah. Well, but invariably we try to lead. So we must lead you to the promised line.
Doc, my very, very final question, maybe sir, I was asking me about oil exploration and oil ejuma from the 90s into 2000s, they didn't back one a bike a chachu chikata. Na actually, in some way, yes, you know, it had to do with oil exploration. I say, yeah, you say, it's sunny, capital intensive, you say, Sikapudwa, ya DS argument, you know, a China economy, Ghanaian economy, ne bre. Ye babe take sa steppy, ye boom compare ye chi. idea yenyama private sector for nye adding a GMPC especially with the kind of history we have.
Kwame, one thing I would say, I always acknowledge my predecessors. They have all contributed. Mr. Chikata, Emo Boatin of blessed memory, Nanasa Foje, Alex Mould. They've all played their part. And when the stories, our 40th anniversary is around the corner. We believe that we acknowledge the work they've done. That's why I say that you need a very strong, bold government to be able to support SIBB. And maybe the time we started GMPC, and fortunately for me, the GMPC law was drafted in 1983. Signing until I had a chance to work on that law in 82 as a young man, reviewing the draft law. So I tend to have an idea what the intentions were, the drafter's intention. You see, this idea of we taking hold was there from day one. So you see a giant foreigners now by private quota, we will still continue to have only a little of the action, a little of the benefit. You're talking about 15-20% maximum. But if we go the route that I'm going, which I'm asking all to support, it will bring tremendous benefit to this country. Because so a stake of about 50%, 60%. And this is kind of I don't know about Kruma ya. That one step I taken, a try a month for a year. Now one taking so who person best your car can no one for car man. So do car man no the pima. No one could see on pin bed 3 times so now work no car. Me papa large global or the baby because he used to tell me that. Who person best your car there for a while car man in your day no one car. You see, if we don't take that step as a country, be committee resources now we have a president who believes in this thing. Unless the unexpected happens, there's a match. We are marching forward with this. But the mechanic say, "No one tells you, I'm running chichino. Send them lawyer kind, and your manso. The church room we are. Ukrabons were 10 apostle. Then you go ye to the world and preach the gospel, because I won't tell you, And now I say, what block your mind, and you have a problem. But the same issue, we are talking about CSOs, the same issue, some of their members believe is a noble idea. They're only cautioning us how we should implement it. And I'm all yes. Leading my team, we are all yes. We're only in negotiations now.
David, yes, we see Casemir ding.
Over Chelsea.
Yes,
so we negotiations. I'll be who say we don't leave anything to chance. Of course, I want to clinch a deal, give and take. I also try and see your strength, your weakness, and then take advantage of that. But I believe that this is good for Ghana. Let us support our government to get this implemented. Whoever will be in power anytime will benefit. We all have to add on to what we are doing so that it will be beneficial to our country. If we continue to live in our ABC, I'm afraid the oil thing will not. I met a sheikh on a flight from, I think, Singapore to Ghana. I think we're coming through Dubai. They asked me, Ghana. I said, Ghana. So, you found oil. How many barrels a day? I mentioned it. What's your population? I said, hey, and then there's some more. Now, when Dubai, they found oil, the population was about 60,000 people.
Yeah.
About 60,000 people. And I'm more 25 million, and 30 million, and I'm more oil near. The impact will be small. And I think my whole purpose and objective there is to make sure we look at the possibility of driving production to about 500, 600 million barrels a day to 1 million. And then you become a significant producer. But if you produce that and all the money is going to outsiders, You don't have achieved anything.
When you're home for Sobia.
There be kakra be a day free SHS will be timaye. But the idea near Macassi, ama you create tumpono. It's a struggle. Kakra be the beba. But esi nyane pudu near the edjuma. Pudu. Enti kwame the American chairman for ne say and yet ebia keke Sarpong akofa ba and I'm better than by nature say I na me private benefit. Maybe by the time it's implemented, me kura na me fully I won't be there. But people are attacking purchase price. But I've given you cost. I've given you what has been added. Will you still draw that conclusion?
Peace FM.
Enti mesre say amanfo ntie no asopam. Your doors are open. I'm opening a suggestions box at a place. Whoever has any input, Fabra. And this implementation of it will be bipartisan, I believe. My minister will support that so that we consult widely before we conclude these transactions.
A very rare interview, Dr. Kofi Kodia Sarpong. ABPA studio ha anope ne CNT CNeja yakwosre na ana na de we pie abetisu abe why ni kakra amai doc anope da se
kwa me nso me da se me da tiefo nso ase na de meso no se obi a wo concern bia no omomode no mra GMPC wontumi matema ye wo office bi wo Accra. Oh, check out fax here. One check out fax in our bad there. So one him say me know the betting temu. Now I'm checking in our bar. Now advise me and fee say a boy man. That is what I'm looking for. And I want to remind everybody, look at the Cocoa Board example. Even Cocoa Board as an institution, cocoa trading was basically by foreigners. Until we took over. And cocoa has helped this country ever since. This is the time for oil to come. Maybe take the lead or supplement. Yeah, courage no. And can see him play down the role of Abrofunwa. So mama dada ya chance be dada kakra. Ya try. Ya pe baby ejina. Ni ejina ni ye.
Dr. KK Sarpong, Chief Executive GNPC, bringing the time to almost 10:30 on Peace 104.3.